Hello guys, this is Double Zero, and today I have a video on how to stay stealth or stay alive longer and improve your KD, your score per minute, and that type of stuff. But in Battlefield, it doesn't really apply to this, but if you play other games like Call of Duty, Counter-Strike, or any game that really benefits from trying to stay alive and trying to be a team player, this will help you. And the first thing is kind of a no-brainer, but try and run a suppressor if you can. It just keeps off that mini-map, and in Battlefield, I think there is negatives to using a suppressor, but in Call of Duty and Counter-Strike, I don't think there's too big of a negative to be not using it. So always try and use that suppressor to keep you off the mini-map. Second one is stick with guns you like. For this one, you do not have to use a suppressor if you're not familiar with it, but I do encourage you to try and use the best guns you do well with. That means if you do well with the AK, use an AK. If you do well with the M4, use an M4. If you do well with the MG4, use the MG4. You get the drift. The reason why I say this is because people like me or Level Cap or Dead Winter Dead or anyone you watch that uses a gun that you don't particularly like, you decide to try it and you wonder how come I'm not getting the amount of kills I used to get. No, that's because that you're not really used to the weapon, and people like me or Dead Winter Dead or Level Cap or whoever you watch really are familiar with that gun. Like Level Cap, he claims that he uses other guns, that his go-to weapons are the M4, M16A3, ACWR, MPX, etc. Or that SRR38 or whatever that sniper is called. I like to use the ACWR M4 and SG553 ACWR, and a new one to the list is the Grossa one, which I might do a review on. Semi-review on, because it's just a great weapon for close quarters, and yeah. Third thing you're going to want to do is use your audio to your advantage. Now for this one, you're going to want to watch my previous video, which was on how to hear footsteps, and in that video, I kind of talk about adjusting your EQ, best audio settings for positional audio in game. But that's kind of, at that point, it's kind of your mileage may vary because not everyone has the same sound card, headphones, or anything. And yeah. Another thing, now that we got the basics out of the way, we're going to talk about target prioritization. Hopefully I just demonstrate that in this video, but if you're using a suppressor, you're going to want to go for the guy that's shooting at you first rather than the guy that sees you a bit later. Because the reason you want to do this is because the guy that you're shooting at and sees you, the guy that's behind him or beside him or that's preoccupied with something else, he may not see you on the radar just yet, because in Battlefield, most people are listening for loud gunshots and looking at that minimap and relying on 3D spotting, which is kind of a cancer in Battlefield right now, unless you play Classic or Hardcore, which not too many people do. So that's basically what people are actually looking for, is the 3D spot, and audio and visual cues. But if you're using a suppressor, assuming that you didn't use my audio settings, they're probably not going to hear your suppressor, and you're going to kill that guy and then start shooting at you, and then the other guy will realize his guy is dead, and it'll be way too late for him to react, unless he has some really good headphones. Another one is knowing when to bug out. Again, hopefully I demonstrate this, but when you're using a suppressor in Battlefield, it lowers your muzzle velocity. In a nutshell, that means it's slowing your bullets down. It doesn't slow down how fast your bullet is coming out your gun, but it slows down how fast your bullet is going to fly towards that enemy. And in Battlefield, generally it cuts that bullet velocity in half. So if you have like a 600 rounds per minute gun, it's going to shoot at 300. And you know, in real life, 300 rounds per minute is enough to pass through someone's body, but in this game, it doesn't really matter on how much damage it does, it matters on when the bullet actually hits your target. You can try and replicate this by using a suppressor on a sniper, and good luck. So another one is try to stay away from teammates. I know this is Battlefield, and you're going to want to stay with your teammates, it's all about teamwork. So what I mean by this is if your teammates are running loud guns unsuppressed, you're not going to want to run with them, because if you're using a suppressor, you kill a couple guys and then your teammate fires his weapon, automatically they're going to know where you are. He might not know where you are, but the guy that's running up on you may catch you off guard because the guy was originally going to your teammate, and then he sees you and takes you out too. So that's why I try to say, if your whole team is not using a suppressor, you may as well not use it, because if they're gonna spawn on you, fire their weapon, and give away your position. And no one really likes to die when they really work hard for a flank, and then a teammate come ruin it because they're firing an unsuppressed ACWR or AK or a pistol. And another thing is, turn off underbarrel attachments. Personally, I don't run underbarrel attachments, such as like lasers and flashlights. The only thing I really put on is the target detector, which is only for carbines. And this goes well into my another little thing. Is the best guns to use to stay off the minimap is carbines, because when using a suppressor, you tend to last a little bit longer, you run out of bullets faster. This is why I'm going to say you're going to want to use carbines and use assault. I know that medic is nice, and if you get all your perks, you can run like an offensive and get the extra ammo. But sooner or later, you're going to run out of ammo and then be relying on your pistol, which isn't always the best, unless you're using a deagle. But like I said, use the guns that you're most familiar with. But you're always going to run out of ammo, and sometimes your pistol just isn't good enough. That's why I'm going to say run support. Please get that extra ammo, and you can stay off that minimap, and you can just deal with those enemies while you don't have anything. And I think I've covered everything I do. I hope you've enjoyed the background, because I certainly worked hard to put this footage together. The server I was playing on was P or something. I'll put the server in the description. And I hope you guys had a good little day. And this is Level Zero, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.